All right. So as we get into the first session of our first campaign, I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit of background as we jump right in, and then from there, we will be on the roll. So, to set the stage for the region that we're in and the world state currently, we find ourselves on the road to Lynrid Road. What was in its time an old frontier fort has now since grown into a thriving and bustling city-state of its own. Under the command of Bowen Battleborn and his warband of the West Wind, Lynrid to this day still serves as the stopping point of the Voghian people and the start of Thenean land. Although quiet in recent times, bitter feuds and old tensions have resurfaced as Selna Oren-Mel has taken sole control of the city-state of Theneas and looks to serve her own purposes moving forward. Not any living truly know the start of the hatred between the people of Voghian and Theneas. It is even said that at one point they were the greatest of allies, and in time since there have been efforts to restore that alliance, between the two. But as it stands today, the hatred is too rooted in the people to let go of past transgression. So, with the context, with all of us aware of the context, I guess we'd say, today, those wary in Voghian get the feeling that with the change of rule in Theneas, that war is teetering on the brink, and a single act from either side will send it over the edge. So, we, as I said previously, find ourselves on the road to Lynrid Road. Guided by a member of the warband of the West Wind, you are all members of a traveling caravan, making the last stretch of road inwards to the city itself. Right now you find yourselves on the outer wilds, surrounded on both sides. This portion of the trip is kind of almost, I want to say like a canyon, maybe more like a valley, but with some kind of like steady hills on either side, kind of looking down. And this is by purpose, right? This is an old, the roadway here is, meant to be protected and surveyed. So the fact that there would be, on both sides kind of luring you in. But just up ahead, that before, you should be running into basically like a way station, right? Or like a checkpoint to make yourself to make your way forward into the lands of Voghian and Vogh Moldir, the High Chief. So, as we find ourselves on this road, the wagons and of the caravan kind of creaking. We find ourselves at night in the evening. It's a bit dark. The four of you have all, in your own way, either through the original stopping point of Theneas, right? Having made the trip across. Others having just joined, just on this final kind of stretch of road to make your way to your ultimate destination. So, as you travel through in the evening this valley-like location, on either sides there is a tree line, kind of like a ridge line above your head, kind of funneling you towards the checkpoint that you're ultimately kind of keeping an eye out on. Each of you, I'll say, sitting atop either horse or in one of these kind of carriage wagons, kind of a almost like a pedestrian wagon where a number of people will just kind of sit like kind of huddled up next to each other on their path forward. So, as we do so, let's see. Okay. If you could, Bedivere, describe your character, where they might be found moving along this caravan. where they might be seated or on atop their own horse. Description as you wish. All right. There we go. All right, what's that? It seems like there's a technical thing. Should be good to go now. Okay. Sorry about that. So, just kind of sit there. Yeah, kind of like you said, just kind of, maybe a bit absent-minded in this moment as you kind of take your position, kind of looking around. If you could, I guess, yeah, we'll start this off easy. Go ahead and roll me a perception check. First roll of the campaign.
Secret or open?
Open, yeah.
Okay. $21.
Okay. 21 total. So, you're kind of sitting in this point, right? You're able to see around you, right? So nothing is kind of closed in. You're able to get a good view of the evening around and hearing all the sounds and the people. A lot of people kind of having kind of open conversations between each other, right? You just kind of hear the occasional line or two, you know, from those nearest you. But with the 21, can't help but shake this kind of. I'll say that you're unsure if it's just you being paranoid in this moment, or if you're really kind of getting a sense of something. But I guess maybe it's the way the kind of valley that you're traveling through kind of flows. It just gives you this feeling that you're kind of being watched on both sides, you know. And even though you might kind of be more absent-minded, can't help but like every now and then, just on occasion, kind of looking up and glancing, and either it's through the night or the light of the moons that kind of grace this area, but you would almost swear that you were seeing somebody traveling alongside the caravan, just up further into the tree line above.
Okay, I stare right there intensely for as long as I need to make sure that either someone is following us or is not.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you just continue to stare along and squinting your eyes, ensuring, you know, you get the full. About a minute or two goes by, and then, yeah, you don't see anything moving. So must be just like a strange paranoia. Right.
Okay.
All right. Watching along. See who's up next. Shadurin, if you could, please describe a character, how they might look, and where they might be found traveling alongside this caravan.
Shadurin is quite comfortable in his position, atop a rather large and powerful-looking horse. To the casual observer, might consider it a war horse, but it doesn't have all the usual adornments, apart from some odd ornamentation, should we say, around its head. Shad himself is a somber-looking character. He wears a wide-brimmed top hat and what appears to be a funeral coat, but it is weathered by time on the road. His hands are gloved. His face is entirely enclosed by a very carefully placed wraparound scarf that leaves only thin slits showing where his eyes can show through. Alongside the horse is what on first glance might appear a long staff, but is in fact a long-handled shovel. And he has 2 bags hung from his waist, one with a green ribbon and one with a red ribbon. Shad is casually chatting with the driver of one of these slow-moving wagons, regaling him with a tale of his recent travels in a very jovial and light manner.
Yeah, the driver of one of these wagons, right? This conversation was probably struck up by, you know, it was probably strung up by like this excited kind of response towards your horse in this region, and I think across Ekros, you might be riding atop the largest horse ever seen. Right, that's kind of how big this horse is. Do not see horses this size. Yeah, this is an extreme rarity, so they would have kind of like, you know, commented and yeah, kind of continued on the conversation with you, like, you know, like, well, where have you come from?
Oh well, yes. Hey, we've come across the sea from Valduris. I had a very important job there, and you know, the horse was part of the deal, should we say. He's a pleasant enough fellow, but he has a terrible habit. If you don't top up his pipe every day, he gets terribly ornery. He just won't cooperate at all.
I don't think I've ever seen a horse.
You don't think you've ever seen
tobacco.
A horse? What the hell is in
Smoke
front
tobacco.
of the car?
Sorry.
Yes, I believe he picked up the habit from the sailors on the boat that brought us over. It's when he won the hats that he's wearing, playing cards. I think he picked up the habit then.
You can see that the guy's kind of like greatly amused by this by this kind of tale, right? You know, I mean, obviously he doesn't fully believe like the words, right? The horse won a card game, and, you know, now has this kind of smoking. I mean, you can see the tobacco kind of pipe like hanging just out of the horse's mouth. But yeah, he's playing along with it at the very least, right? He's buying into the story, at least for the humor of it all. And as you kind of like finish up, you know, kind of telling the tale, he'll kind of just kind of nod along. Then it would seem that you have quite the magnificent horse. I would be careful riding that horse around these parts. There are many, I think, that would have their eye on it and look to take it from you. A horse that size could absolutely, you know, would be greatly prized by one of the more nomadic types in this region.
Well, he might seem like a handy animal in a pinch, but I tell you, you know, the cost in the herbs and tobacco, it's crippling. For what it costs to maintain, I could probably run a whole herd of horses.
My goodness. So as you kind of continue along having this conversation, I'll say you're kind of just, yeah, you're kind of taken in by this conversation, and maybe your focus is more towards there than.
Well, that's not how Shad works, is it?
You tell me.
No. Shad will run his mouth, but his eyes will be his eyes will be moving, and Shy lies as easily as he breathes.
Fair enough. Yeah. Then if you could, drop me a perception. Open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot where it was. That is.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're
he's distracted.
Yeah, you're distracted. So, despite the description of Shad, he seems to be quite focused on the conversation. Maybe it's a particularly nice conversation. It's been a while since you've had, somebody kind of like really buying into the like the conversations and the stories that you weave, right? So to have somebody like a customer, so to speak, right there, yeah, you're quite enjoying it.
And Shad will go on. And, well, enough about the horse. You should hear the tales that they told me on that ship. I talked to one guy. He'd served on one of these flenging ships that come out of Visgrad. And you wouldn't believe where you catch the whale, and they take its penis, and they peel the skin off. And we'll leave it there.
Yeah. The guy at that point, the guy's like a little bit more horrified by the stories that you're telling. But in any case, you continue on, much to their disgust, and so, all right. And with that, Talifer, if you could, please describe your character visually. What one might see if they were to look upon you, and where you might be found in company of this caravan.
Yeah, sure. Talifer would be sitting behind the driver that Shad is talking to, so be in the cart, sort of intently listening to everything that Shad is saying and sort of scribbling down various bits on parchment that he's got sort of scattered around him, maybe asking the occasional question of Shad or the driver every now and again, and just, really intently sort of listening to everything that Shad's saying. In terms of how he appears, he's fairly tall, sort of 6 foot, and very slight. He's got quite typical Voghian features, got like strong jaw, quite a prominent nose. But unlike most Voghians who are typically fair-haired, Talifer's got this weird sort of thick, dense mix of sort of red and yellow strands in his hair. And similarly on his beard, his beard sort of a patchy, sort of rough red stubble across his face. In terms of his clothes, he's got sort of a green leather jerkin on, as you can see in the image, with bits of padding around the elbows, the chest, and the shoulders. And the rest of his clothes look fairly sort of normal, like greens and browns, looking fairly simple, but well made. Like you'd expect a well-off farmer or someone to be wearing. Nothing too fancy, just like nice, well-made travel clothes.
Fair enough.
The things that really stand out about Shad, Talifer, his collar. Yeah, I know. His collar. He's got it's like a gold and quartz brooch that's holding his cloak together. And if any of you are familiar with Voghian society, you'd immediately recognise that as one of the symbols of the poet's court. So he's quite clearly identifying himself as a member of the poet's court. And around his wrist, he's got quite a heavy, cheap golden warrior ring, a fairly typical for Voghian men to be wearing. Just like scattered around him in the cart, he's got a backpack and a lute and the bits of parchment that he's scribbling on and some ink. And then just underneath his seat where he's sitting, there's this fairly sort of innocuous looking bundle. It's about 4 foot long. And it's just this sort of like long wooden bundle, seems to be wrapped up quite tightly in cloth and leather straps and things going around it.
Fair enough. Would Talifer be alone in the back of this wagon?
No, he'd happily sit there and chat with people. He's quite happy to have a talk.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, and we'll say that across from you, the wagon, and this is kind of like almost like an open air wagon, right? Like you're just kind of sitting in the back. You can see the surroundings. There's not really like a tarp to kind of cover you. Yeah, because it's just you can see it's probably more used for like a farmer's wagon to kind of shift items into, but for the time being, kind of makeshift as like a train, or so, you know, what you would call. So as you kind of sit there across from you, there is a bit more. Their clothing kind of denotes them of a bit more of like a tattered, kind of like a tattered look. I mean, they're not like full on like a street urchin type, but they definitely have seen, you know, better days. Either they've been out in the wilds for quite some time. They're a bit kind of scruffed up, kind of dirty. But as you're kind of like going back and forth between the papers, the parchment, and the inks, and kind of asking questions, he's just kind of sat across, and he's been quiet for the majority of the ride. And he kind of looks over at you. If you could roll me a perception check.
If I can remember how.
On the left.
There we go. Nice. So as you're doing this, I mean, maybe by design or random chance, however it is, you tend to kind of look across from you, and you see this figure kind of looking at you. And the way that they're sitting, they're trying to give off this like tired demeanor. But you can see past that. You can see past the deception that lies within their kind of gait. They are clocking you, right? They're looking at you like they are, you know, their eyes, as they kind of like look at you, you catch their eyes and they, you know, kind of quickly kind of look away, but you know that they're eyeing specifically that cloak collar, right?
The brooch, yeah.
Yeah, the brooch that's keeping the
Okay.
collar on. And yeah, and kind of giving you like a once over. Then he'll kind of lean forward. You are a member of the Poet's Court, I take it.
And Talifer sort of looks around at all the bundles of paper. Yeah, what do you think?
Well, he's trying to make conversation, but as far as like the charismatic attempt, right, the natural kind of flowing of naturally asking questions, this all comes across very forced, right? Kind of leans over. So, have you written any great epics that I may have heard of in my time?
Have I? You're telling me you've never heard of Talifer Taleteller?
He kind of thinks for a moment, and you tell me if this is a blow to your confidence, but he just kind of shakes his head. No, don't think I have, although you do have a great name, I guess you could say.
Oh, well, I've earned it. And he rummages in his pocket and grabs out just a handful of papers and smushes them into his hand, into the guy's sort of chest area.
Yeah.
Have a read of these. You'll remember my name then.
He's kind of taken off guard by the, like, you know, sudden thrusting of like papers towards him, and he kind of like takes them and starts to slowly kind of thumb through them. He's not reading them as much as you know. He's not reading them like yeah. He's not reading them. Yeah, or as much as you would like.
No.
Yeah.
That first page, that's the best bit. You've got to read that bit. The rest won't make sense if you don't read that bit.
Right, and he kind of
as I'm doing this, can I be studying his face just to see what's going on?
Yeah, he's thrown off guard by, you know, like your sudden like here kind of attitude, and as he's kind of looking down, Christ, you're telling him, like, you know, and he's kind of confused, he's kind of rattled by the, like, you know, like telling him where to look on the page, so he kind of keeps looking at the page, but then kind of he wants to keep his eyes on you, like that's really the goal here. But as you've, like, you know, you've kind of swayed the conversation in the way it's going to go, he kind of backs off and then just like leans back and then actually starts to read the stuff you've worked on.
Has he got any weapons on him?
Not obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. He just kind of sits back, you know, like back to the wagon. Previously he was kind of leaned forward, and now he's like actually starting to read what you've written.
Please be brutally honest, I'll say to him. Please be brutally honest. All criticism is good criticism, you know.
He'll just kind of shake his head, yeah, and So we'll continue on for the time being. So last but not least, Gash, you could
Yeah, so
describe a character where they might be.
so
Well,
yeah, so in that same card, maybe next to this guy Tilifer is talking to, but
Okay.
closer to the driver, is pretty bulky orc, sitting just trying and failing to read a book, but getting distracted by the conversation Shad is having with the driver. Just from a glance, you know, depending on how much the people here of this, this area have seen orcs, this one just has black long hair in a ponytail, a few scars, but otherwise doesn't really look like the warlike type. He's wearing pretty common clothes or normal garb, but not really hidden, but underneath a very light armor. Not really ready to fight. Doesn't apparently have any weapons, and just mostly trying to make sense of the weird tale Shad is telling.
Yeah. I guess particularly at this point, the flensers and the pelts and overcoats and what have yous. Yeah. So as you kind of sit there, and again, sorry, for clarification, was Bedivere in a wagon or on a single horse?
A wagon.
Wagon.
Sitting
Okay.
in
So
the back.
yeah. So we'll say that, for convenience sake, this is all in the same wagon with Shad kind of on the outside, right, on his own horse. So as you are kind of occasionally getting bits and pieces of the story that's being told around you, Gash, one thing that you would notice is that it actually it doesn't necessarily seem like the people that are around you have taken much bother with you being there, right? The orcs of Uruk have kind of been here for enough time that the surrounding areas are kind of used to the presence of the occasional orc here and there, right? And as it is known now, right, for the most part, there is this alliance between the orcs and the High Chief of Vogh Moldir, which kind of, gives a bit of an ease of travel for orcs in the region, right? So occasionally, like, a person may look at you, but it's never out of like an extreme worry or sense of like, like, who the fuck is this, right? It's just kind of like an orc, and then kind of continued on. So as you're kind of sitting there, hearing both the tale of Shad and then I guess seeing the kind of pushier nature of Talifer as he kind of pushes this story onto this person, right? Because from your point of view, you're not really kind of picked up that vibe just yet. But as you're doing so, in attempts to kind of read this book, all of that seems kind of tossed to the side as a warrior on a heavier horse. Obviously nothing in comparison to Shad's horse, but a rider pulls up and will kind of quickly exclaim, this is the warrior of the west, the warrior of the warband of the west wind, right? This has been the guide so far. As he kind of rides up, we'll say that this conversation has gotten a bit loud, right, for the surrounding areas. And so he'll kind of like quickly ride up and then in a moment kind of almost give an order, right, for the people to quiet down, right, specifically kind of targeting Shad and the others in this area. As he kind of rides up and kind of shouts out that order. Not necessarily shouts, but like says firmly. Does anybody? Sorry, would anybody react to that kind of openly, really quick? So as he rides up, he'll kind of lean in a bit of a quieter tone, kind of say openly to those in the, well, maybe not openly. It seems like the conversation is more directed towards the actual driver of the wagon, but it's said loud enough, and there's no kind of coverings that kind of stop you all from hearing. Kind of say out loud, I believe there's somebody tracking us to our right and left. If need be, at a moment's notice, if I give the order, I need you to flip, right? You know, like make safe, you know, the people in the wagon, yourselves. If you'd like, Ram. Oh, also, while you're talking, I'll describe something in the Discord chat for everybody real quick.
Do we catch any of that?
Yeah, you would catch that. You would catch that.
Oh, okay. All right. Then.
Yeah. So, did you have a response, Ram?
No. I was going to ask if I could listen in, but if we caught it already, that's fine. Ram will just Ram. What am I doing?
Sorry.
It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
Talifer will put his hand onto the loot that's next to him and just sort of move it a bit closer.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, also a question about that. Is there a card where we put our weapons, or do we just have what? Do we all have our equipment with us?
I would say you would have your equipment with you. Yeah. Traveling like this, there's less worry of, you know, and like trying to like trying to like keep it in a specific location. Like it's on your person. Yeah. You're kind of
so probably
responsible for your own items, sort of deal.
Yeah, so probably spear within reach, a gash. Either way, he makes sure he has the shield at the ready.
Okay.
Not really trying to alert anyone, but, you know, calmly storing the book, which is basically not really a dictionary, but a collection of phrases in Elvish. In Elven, he's trying to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you actually exclaim these Elvish words out loud?
No, he's just storing the book.
Storing the book.
It's about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, maybe while he would have tried to practice.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, then I guess Talifer.
If Talifer's hearing that, he will be very much intrigued. Someone speaking Elvish.
Yeah, you definitely pay attention. And it's an orc, right? An orc speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Could I maybe see if the book has got a name on the cover?
Yeah, sure. Romy, let's see if you put me on the spot with this or not.
Oh, yes, I do. I know exactly what book it is, and who wrote it, and when it was written, and all of the sources that were used to create it.
Absolutely. So,
come on, Trill. Do your homework.
Yeah. Let me do my homework real quick.
It's pronounced Hastings.
Hastings, indeed. Hastings. So, actually, you know what? I think this will be fun. You know.
Now, and I'm dead.
So, you know that this book is actually written by the Elvish line of the Ward family. The translations here, this is probably more Duganese style Elvish than it is Thenean Elvish, right? Just not in specifics, right? The language is overall basically the same, but there are some regional variances, like, you know, very, very limited though. Yeah, you are. This is a very familiar kind of book of Elvish. This is probably the one that most people in this region are able to get a hold of. The more Thenean focused ones, you probably have to get in Theneas.
Mm-hmm. What is it about? Is it like a dictionary or?
It's like a basic. It's like.
Elvish for dummies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
Elvish for dummies.
Essentially.
Yeah,
Elvish for dummies. Okay.
Essentially. Yeah, and you know, it was it has been in circulation for quite some time, before your time even. So, this is the most popular variant of learning Elvish, should you wish. Very popular amongst, you know, young well, I guess young Dukanese, to kind of appear a bit more self-important than they might actually be. Voghian people tend to kind of, you know, push away the Elvish language generally.
Yes.
So as you're kind of alerted to this worry and this thought and kind of looking on either side, those of you, right, like, Gash, as you kind of like slowly kind of grabbed his shield, just kind of, you know, not trying to alert anybody, not trying to make a big scene of it, but just kind of slowly preparing yourselves just in case.
Yeah, storing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if he notices Telefer hearing that conversation too, he will try to give him a knowing look.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, kind of look across, give Telefer kind of a knowing look. Shad.
Shad is still fairly oblivious, although he noticed he got shushed earlier, and he's doing it in that loud whisper that carries, you know, so you can still be heard. He's saying, yes, and then they turn it inside out after they've scraped it down and cut some holes, and they pull it, and it's like, it's a wonderful overcoat.
And quiet. You know, the guy just like, shut the fuck up. You know, he kind of gives you that energy, like, just quiet. And he's looking over at you, and he's got this serious look to him, although, again, you're both on horses, but he's considerably lower than you, because he's actually kind of looking up at you from across, you know, about 10 feet away or so, kind of looking up, even at that angle.
Well,
just need quiet for a bit.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. So he just kind of goes on, just need quiet for a bit, just to ensure that we're all safe. And then he will, you know, in this moment, kind of quickly ride up ahead. Bedivere, you've kept your eyes open, kept kind of watch, and kind of hearing that word kind of justifies a bit of that paranoia. I mean, you didn't see anything earlier, right? So you kind of maybe for a moment let it go, but as the rider kind of came up and, you know, expressed this potential concern of being tracked on either side, you kind of maybe particularly, you know, just by instinct kind of return to giving it a look and ensuring that, you know, did you see what you thought?
Yeah.
And so maybe that paranoia kind of climbs back in, but as you watch, maybe kind of fixate your eyes again up on the ridge line, and this time you see a figure, shadowed, just kind of jump, not necessarily jump, but like they're moving quickly now, right? So you see the shadow kind of dart from between the trees where the light kind of makes its way in. And at this point, like, you know, you trust your eyes 100%. You saw a kind of cloaked figure moving through the tree line. This time at pace, right? Not just kind of slowly tagging along. Seems like they're rushing forward now.
I hate those breaks, sorry. I like put everything as calm as possible back into the bag and make sure everything is in order, as I want to might grab stuff and take my right hand right to the grip of the sword and just wait for what's about to happen.
Okay. So, as you do. Does anybody else want to do anything in particular before we describe?
Have any of the rest of us noticed this?
The figure moving? No, it would have only been been Bedivere at this time. But you've been told of the presence, and, you know, maybe that paranoia is kind of drawn forward. So,
Okay. Talifer will just sort of slowly start packing away some of his bits and bobs after hearing the west wind guard. He'll just start sort of packing away his parchments and reaching over to grab the notes from the guy that was reading them.
At this point, he's actually, I mean, he was so enraptured with your writing that and I rolled this secretly, so you know, this is a genuine reaction. It's not me just bullshitting. He really likes your writing, and so it seems like the notice of, you know, like worrying and being quiet, all of that is kind of passed him by as he's kind of like gone full dive in the notes. And so as you kind of reach out to kind of take him back, he doesn't even he doesn't even see you until you put your hand on the parchment itself and kind of start to pull it away, and he's like, wait, and he kind of like holds it at it. You gotta kind of pull it from him for a second, and he kind of ultimately kind of right, like he just kind of snaps out of it and kind of relents and just lets go. Fine work indeed.
Califer Taleteller. Remember the name.
Kind of gives you gives you like a look and kind of nods his head. Be sure to. You can see that he wants to say something, but he's kind of holding himself back.
What? Did you not like it?
No, it's
It's the ending, isn't it? I've never been good at endings.
Is it true?
It's what true?
The story.
Oh, of course it is. It's all true. Everything I write down is true. I don't make stuff up.
Right. There might have been a little bit of vitriol in that question, right? Like, lying about things, even as a member of the Poet's Court, lying about the tales that you've seen, probably like a big no-go, considering the way it is to kind of talk about your grand epics as on your Belly Moor, right? So, so that question had a little bit of bite to it. Yeah, but he ultimately just kind of relents. Yeah, kind of. All right. Well, then it is a great story. Even the ending is not so bad.
They need some work. I'll think about it. Pleasure to meet you. What's your name?
Fine. Kind of because you look like he's kind of shocked that you'd be asking. Carwyn.
I just spelled that true.
Carwyn. There you go.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right. So, if we're all set, the caravan continues to travel along for a bit. This time much quieter, as the warrior that's been your guide so far has traveled up along and kind of notified various wagons and people. And now, I mean, other than the kind of creaking sounds of the wooden wheels as they turn and the wagons, kind of going over rocks and stones along this more kind of wild path, certainly not, a perfect road or anything of the sorts. That's the only thing you hear. That and the sound of the evening and the wildlife that kind of surrounds you. Occasionally, you might hear like the sounds of an owl of sorts, right? Kind of alerting its location, potentially on the evening's hunt.
Sorry, did you say an owl of sorts?
Yeah, an owl of sorts.
What sort of owl?
I'm not going to get into specifics there. But in any case, as you travel, head forward. I'm going to say that you're relatively at the front of this caravan. Maybe you're the second, maybe the third wagon back from the lead. And there's probably about that number behind you. So in total, probably 6, and you're probably like 6 or 7. And you're probably up closer to the front. We'll say the second wagon up ahead. So at the time that it kind of reveals itself to those ahead, it also kind of reveals itself to you all. As you kind of look at the path ahead, maybe your eyes were transfixed on the sights on either side, the looming kind of tree line ahead. But where there used to be, or at one point was a relatively well-built kind of checkpoint along the road, like a guardhouse where some could have stopped and kind of checked you before allowing you to continue onward, now stands almost ruinous in a sense. There's clearly been some sort of violence here as of recent. And with that, all this kind of like you see it, and then you hear like the warrior of the west, the warband of the west wind, kind of call out for the caravan to kind of stop, halt the train, and he'll kind of call out those amongst you. I need those of you able-bodied to approach the front of the caravan, please. And he kind of calls out for a bit of aid in this moment. So, as he does so, is everybody staying in the wagon? What's going on?
I'd like to make my way up.
Okay, yeah, so you kind of stand up and hop out the wagon and start to make your way up.
Shad will lean over to the driver and in that sort of surreptitious, loud whisper says, "I think he's talking to you."
The driver of this this wagon is
He's
quite
blind.
old.
He's never seen a horse before.
Yeah. He's got he's got very obvious kind of cataracts in his eyes, like he's just a little milky. I mean, he can see, but how well he can see is a bit up to the
very
imagination.
grainy.
Yeah, and he's a bit older, he's kind of sunken in, yeah. Jesus Christ. He will, as you kind of call out to him, Chad, he'll kind of like shake his head. No, I think that'd be more your speed.
I'd like to think that Erasmus has seen something that he likes the look of and will just go forward of his own violation because Chad has barely any control of him.
Fair enough. Yeah. The horse just kind of starts to move forward, almost seemingly under the command of the warrior at the front, right? Like almost like it's not even up to you. Just a strong enough voice is enough to control Erasmus, right? So you start to move forward, still sitting atop the horse.
Well, I hope it's worth it for you, Erasmus. I might not fill your pipe in the morning.
Yeah. There's almost like you're about to get fucked off, but it's like I guess the horse is a bit more intelligent, right? It seems like the horse might fucking know what you're saying. Like, don't
The horse
threaten
might
me.
be a bit more intelligent than Shad.
Yeah. You get to feel like, whoa, you gotta like hold on for a second. Like you're almost about to get tossed. So, absolutely. So, is Talifer and Cash sitting back?
No, Gash is picking up spear at this point and moving to the front of the caravan.
Fair enough. All right. And
Talifer will only leave once he sees everyone else in the caravan has gone. So he'll sort of busy himself packing his stuff away and huffing and puffing because he's trying to fit it all into his bag. And, some of it falls out and bits fall out of his pocket and he's trying to stuff it all back in. But he's waiting until everyone else has got out of the caravan and making sure that the bundle is secure and hidden under his chair.
Fair enough. Okay. So, direction that you're coming from. How about that? So you leave the bundle behind.
Yes, he'll leave it. He'll leave it behind. Yeah.
Okay.
Just hidden underneath his seat.
Yeah, you give it a few seconds and then start to join the others and moving up to the front. And as you approach, it's probably the best way to do it then. And then, yeah, there we go. This will be the site available to you. You see, basically you're on the, typically, this would be like the more lived in side, and I'm gonna say that you're down here, right? So, actually I can just, for the sake of, this doesn't necessarily 100% mean, something may happen, but just in case.
Everything's black for me.
Everything's black for you?
Yep. At the moment, yeah.
I can see stuff.
Figure lighting. Ship. Maybe you have to refresh, unfortunately. But it should be.
No problem.
Yeah, it should be able to be seen. Yeah, feel free to kind of place yourselves as you wish along this southern portion. We'll say like probably don't go past this big kind of tree table stump. Yeah, also may take a second to load it on occasion. Jesus Christ.
Cowards!
I got off the coach last, so I should be at the back.
Right. You
Okay,
able to see now?
Yeah, I can see now.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so just
shut up there.
yeah, basically just don't pass it. Right. Anywhere south of it. So yeah, we'll say we're just kind of doing this more for just being able to see what kind of sits out in front of you. So it still stands. There is a measure of almost like reclaimed almost like almost nature kind of reclaimed this spot a little bit in some locations, right? There's kind of thick roots kind of burst out from underneath the ground, kind of climbing themselves up along the wall. And the pathway in between is not completely crushed in. You can see through it, so you can see through to this side, right? From the path that's underneath this walkway, right? Where the natural path will continue. There's just a lot of kind of wood that's kind of caved in, and it's almost like a what are they called? Like those rocky style caves where kind of juts out from all directions. So even though you can see through it, obviously you yourselves may be able to squeeze through, but as far as getting a wagon through here is definitely going to be impossible until the rubble of this area is kind of cleared through. So just gonna take a look. This is definitely at one point would have been a stop. You would have had to talk to guards, right, as you move forward into the area of Vogh. But Talifer.
Sorry, I was muted. Talifer presumably would have been here before or around this
Absolutely.
way before.
Yeah.
Do I need to make any? Yeah, I was going to say, do I need to make any sort of check to work out where this is, or how recently even this might have happened?
Yeah. So where this is, you're not very far at all from. Like this is maybe a couple miles out from the city, so you're extremely close.
Oh wow!
As far as yeah, this is like
we're right into Voghian territory then.
Yeah, basically, you're like almost right to Lynrid, right? So this is kind of like just one of the outer checkpoints around the city. And again, even on either side, somehow getting even if you could get a wagon up, like how are they gonna kind of make their way around this obstacle in their path? But as far as how long it's been like this, you can definitely give me a, let's see.
Survival?
Yeah, I'd say like survival, or maybe even we'll say survival, yeah, because of the like natural kind of reclamation kind of aspect of it.
Why is it not rolling? Oh, it's not rolling. Trill.
Let's see. Even if you click like directly, it doesn't open up like a second.
No, there's no box to open up.
Weird.
Let's try again. There we go. Right.
There.
Oh, nice.
21. Definitely feel like you've been here recently enough that it should not be in the state that it's currently in, right? That's just outright.
As in, like, reclaimed by nature.
Yeah,
Because obviously it could have been destroyed at any point. Okay.
There's definitely the nature aspect of it is definitely suspicious in this moment.
Okay.
Right?
Is the Warband of the West Wind guide here down with us?
Yeah, so I'll say he's like right here.
Yeah.
And actually, as you
Okay.
kind of approach and kind of get this this whole kind of obstacle in your sight, he is currently kind of gripping at his right arm, and you can see that there's some sort of wound that has kind of made its way through. Actually, no, not some sort of wound. There's an arrow kind of sticking out of his right, like right arm, shoulder area, and he's just kind of like holding on to it and kind of pulls it free as you approach.
Sorry, did he just get shot, Trill?
Yeah, he got shot as you were approaching, right? Like,
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I draw my weapon then.
okay, absolutely. I'll say you draw your weapon. But as you guys approach, you see this arrow already sticking out of him. But he's not like chasing after anybody, and he's not like looking. It's not like extremely active in this moment. He's like, even as you kind of approach, he's like, bastard. Somebody tracking us along the tree line. I will, and you see like he kind of has like this bit of a sway to him as he kind of like leans back, kind of shakes his head off, right? Maybe it's the pain, something. Stay with the wagon. I will chase him down myself. And he'll kind of turn on the horse and dart towards. We'll say that the horse is even able to kind of make a jump up from the bottom to here. He'll kind of dart off into the tree line that kind of surrounds this area. Apparently the direction whoever may have shot him has gone. Bedivere.
Yeah, I'd like to draw my weapon and use the esoteric lore to try a recall knowledge check. What could have caused the natural,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
the aging?
Fair enough.
And a -2 because I don't use it for haunt. Oh, it's supposed to be secret. My bad.
All good. So, Jesus, 30. Yeah, you definitely can tell that there has been some sort of magic at play here. Definitely, this is definitely not the natural kind of reclamation of nature. This is 100% part of potentially, whoever came through here and destroyed this location. There are too many kind of twisted vines. I'm gonna say even like the sense of it, maybe this will be like a bit more kind of like a loosely defined thing, but you even get like the sense of this this kind of magic kind of hangs in the air as you kind of pull your weapon free and kind of get a look at the surroundings ahead of you. So as the warrior of the West Wind kind of darts forward, you've got your weapon drawn. Talifer, you've drawn your weapon. Shad.
I just want to check that I can do this. There's an action identify magic, and Shad has a feature called quick identification where he can identify magic or determine the properties of an item, ongoing effect or location in 1 minute rather than 10 minutes. Have we got enough time for that, or is that? Or can he at least start it? I don't know what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I'd say you could definitely start it, right?
Let's give this a go then.
You can identify magic swiftly. You take only one when using identify magic.
For some reason, I can't drag the action into my.
Yeah, you're not looking to use the spell identify magic. You're looking to use the action, right?
Yes. Because
okay.
Well, I actually looked for the spell and I couldn't find it. It came up with the action.
Okay, fair enough. Let me.
I found it. There it is.
Okay.
And let me just. And that's his thing. So I think it's probably just an Arcana check, isn't it?
Yeah.
It corresponds to
Yeah.
the magic happening.
Ooh.
All right. 19. Yeah. Takes a minute, right? So,
Yeah.
I guess here's the question, like, would Shad approach to get a better sense?
How close does he have to be? He will only he will, but he will stay as far away as he can to get that sense.
Fair enough. I'll say that whether would you stay on the horse or would you jump off doing this?
No, I think we're staying. I think Shad is staying close by to Erasmus because Erasmus is the best chance of his GTFO maneuver.
Okay. So then I'll say that it does bring you to about this point. If
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah, that's
All right.
fine. Shad
So-
in the front line, just where I want him.
By the way, the guy that was with us, he got shot from the tree line.
Yeah, from this direction, and has since kind of just rushed ahead, attempting to follow the would-be, attacker of sorts. And he's kind of said, like, stay with the wagon, because he's trying to chase him down, essentially.
Then if Gash going to spend this time checking the area, then I think Gash is going to be between him and the tree line.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, so as Shad is kind of spending the minute to kind of get a sense of the magic of this place, you're going to kind of position yourself a bit in between, just to kind of potentially protect of sorts.
Sheila's ready.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. And Talford, do you stick behind?
If he's got a minute, then he will jump back onto the back of a wagon. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, bye then.
Talifer just ignores him, jumps back onto the back of the wagon.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Also, it's 1 minute because of the quick identification feed, rather than.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you you stay as you are. Slowly.
Sorry, what do you mean stay as I am?
You stay in the location that you stay where you currently stood.
No, I was just trying to represent where the wagon was.
Oh, the wagon will probably be further behind. Right.
That's fine. So do you
Yeah.
want me to just leave it there then?
Yeah, that's
we'll
fine.
say he's off screen. Yeah. Okay.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So jump back onto the wagon. Just make sure everything's secure, and he will be scanning the terrain around.
Fair enough. Okay. If you want to, then go to give me a perception check. Just gonna look around for a moment.
Mm-hmm. It keeps doing it whenever I pop out. That's annoying. Nah.
Yeah. You're focused on potentially
Yeah.
that wrap, right? That
Mhm.
keep an eye on it. So as you approach Shad, you start to kind of spend that minute of time that you need to kind of get a good look at this. Gash, you've situated yourself between, right, kind of acting almost as a shield of sorts. Bedivere, at this moment, as you look up ahead, you can see where the rubble is kind of crashed in on itself. Your eyes have not failed you so far. You see something. You are aware of something moving around within it.
Okay, I'd like trace where I assume the thing to be with the edge of my sword.
Yeah, kind of
Um,
showing Gash and Shad like towards.
there. Just one small word.
So, being quietly, best you can. Shad, as you stand there, you're spending this minute to do this. We'll say that after about 15 seconds is kind of when Bedivere is like called out this bit of movement and kind of pointing forward there. Shad, you yourself, you're kind of in the middle, focusing on this identify magic action, but even you at this point kind of see like some sort of strange movement within the rubble. And it kind of, I don't know, do you stop your action? Like, do you stop this identify magic, or do you kind of stick with it as it kind of starts to shake around? Maybe it's the weight, maybe it's about to crash in a bit more. Who knows? But there's absolutely, at this point, and I'm going to say even to Gash, there is absolute movement happening within that kind of rubbled up area underneath.
"15 seconds. Hmm.
Yeah, you see this
No,
movement? It's a little.
Shad's gonna stick with it.
Stick with it? Okay. Yeah, so, we'll say then quickly, in that additional bit of time, Gash, do you change anything? Because I mean, you hear it now. It's very obvious.
If it's very obvious, and I also hear Bellybear. If I also hear Bellybear giving the call, then yeah, I probably get in between him and the wall.
Okay, so you step forward. Absolutely. Okay.
Because my reasoning here initially was this guy got shot, then just jump into a wood line, like he could be ambushing us.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
Fair enough. Absolutely. So, do you hear this kind of like a clicking sound as you approach and step forward, Gash? Kind of taking that more, we'll say like more, I guess, like protective position as you kind of step forward, defensive position, I guess you could say. And that kind of clicking sound continues, like almost like piercing through the air. And it is at that point that what is moving within the rubble makes itself known as a massive kind of creature pokes its head out, and you all would see it's in a strange spot specifically because of the map, but you know, whatever. But all three of you see, and I'm gonna say this is at about 30 seconds, this massive kind of centipede-like creature start to pull itself out and through the various kind of tunnelings and almost like maze-like structure of the rubble that is kind of caved in on itself at this point. And its head kind of comes out, and the clicking sound is the two large pincers on either side kind of cracking against each other as it kind of positions itself. It's halfway in and also kind of halfway out of the rubble. So, is at this point that if anybody wants to take any actions, I think we're going to have to jump on into initiative.
Yeah, Shad's got something lined up.
Something lined up? Alright, let me... I don't mean to move.
It's coming right for us.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so, I guess that better represents where it is. Clicking on the wrong shit.
Could be worse. I mean, that map looks quite ex-tavern-like. You know, that's a incendiary moment waiting to go.
Indeed it might be. So, and yeah, because the way it goes, you are also in. So, if you would like, please all go ahead and roll me initiative. Also, again, if you're unfamiliar with Pathfinder, you can use basically any kind of skill you would like, right? Like Shad's using deception.
Well, could we justify how Shad is using deception
we absolutely
on a centipede, please?
We absolutely have to justify. If we're gonna do it like this, we absolutely have to justify.
Yes, yeah.
Why it would be anything other than
I didn't realise they already had it set there.
Yeah.
Just reset that, Trill, because that's
enough,
not on. But because he was in the middle of an
Yeah.
You reset it, Trill.
No, I'll just update it whenever you make the next roll.
Right, we'll do that with. That's not bad. That'll be 21.
21. Okay.
So 20, I think.
Update participant.
Yeah.
Let's do 21.
Update liar.
Wait, that's a 20, not a 20. Yeah?
It was 15, and he's got a +5 on
so
using the Arcana.
All
Oh, it's not. No, it's a
I heard
plus,
21.
+6. So 21, yeah.
Oh, sorry, you used Arcana with this, not Perception.
Yeah, because that's what he was in the middle of.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Sorry. Then 21. All right. Oh my God.
Oh yes,
fuck.
lovely. Thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so
Thank you for
Lovely.
going easy on us, True. It has been a hard weekend for me.
it is. I'm sure it is. Okay. So we'll say that
Everything is covered in baby sick.
if we're being fair, then we'll say that you're about 10 off screen. So even though you're right here, we'll say that to get to where you truly are, like on the map,
Yep.
we'll have to spend at least one action to move and get, within scene. And that would put you, I'd say, like one action to move would be 10. So that where you are is at 10. So then it's like, what, 15, 20. Yeah, you know what it is. Okay. All right. Well, then, I guess as this creature kind of reveals itself, the many kind of legs kind of spindling up and out of this tangle of wood and stone, we begin our first combat. So, Shad, if you would like. Also, even though it's on top of the map, this thing does have a partial cover for being kind of halfway in, halfway out. So there's no way to accurately represent it. The fact that it's kind of still almost using like the rubble as like a shell of sorts, right? But just to kind of give a head.
Okay, that changes what I had in mind. I'll just let's start softly. We'll fire a divine lance its way.
Okay. Yeah, we don't really care about that.
Yeah.
Which type of damage it is. Yeah.
So just.
So.
I forgot to target it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, if you're unfamiliar with Foundry, as long as you hover over the token that you're looking to target and hit T, it'll target them for you. So, and that'll kind of automatically do the math as far as whether or not you hit. A 23 you do hit, but a normal hit. So.
Okay, so I'll just roll the damage on that.
Indeed. 10 points. Fair enough.
Okay, so that's 2 of his actions, and then in true Shad style, probably that will move Shad backwards. And that's Shad's turn.
Okay, so you fire. So in the moment, you fire off this divine lance. It's this bolt of Arcana, Arcana like energy. It cracks out and slams into the kind of side of the creature. We'll say it knocks off one of the many kind of points of feet. Kind of blows it off, and then you immediately go on the retreat. Right.
Yeah, he goes bang.
Yeah.
Comes off.
Fair enough. All right. Bedivere.
Okay, I'd like to exploit vulnerability first.
All right. So.
It should roll. It doesn't. Great. I'll just do the esoteric lore check.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And if I succeed or critically succeed, I get a recall knowledge too.
Recall knowledge
Is
too?
that enough to succeed?
That indeed it is. So
Nice.
not critical, but yeah, in general success.
Okay, then you have to tell me its highest weakness.
Highest weakness. I will say that creatures like this doesn't have any like technical weaknesses, so we'll go with its lowest resistance, if that's okay.
Yep.
So creatures like this do not do well with spells or attacks or anything that target its will.
Okay, that I'll just count that as my recall knowledge. What would be the best save?
Yeah.
I can send you the exploit vulnerability stuff if you want to. But then I'd be going with a mortal weakness with a personal antithesis for it, and I say I grab a beak out of my bag, because everybody knows that insects are afraid of birds because they are its preferred prey.
Fair
And
enough.
I fix that to my weapon. How high would that be? I can't reach that with 10 feet, right?
Well, it's not above you. It's on the same level as you on the
okay.
ground. It's just underneath. Yeah, that's why imagine that it's underneath all of this, kind of like in this
Okay.
little pocket of shadow ruin down here.
And you said I'd need an action to move over there, so would it still be like 2 actions, or like to get into scene and then to get to it? I have reach, so I'd only need to move over
No,
there.
so we're saying like once initiative starts, you're already where you are, so you could just move
Okay.
forward and then attack. So you would have to do. So you're doing explosive one ability, one movement, and then one strike, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I move over here so that people could help me flank, and then I use a normal attack with my implement's empowerment, as I have nothing else in hand,
Fair enough.
and would like to use the potency crystal before that.
All right.
So that's a +1.
+1, so 24. So you do hit.
Nice. For 10
10 points,
damage, I
absolutely.
think the potency adds another one. Let me look that up. Oh yeah, it's another damage die even. It's a +1 striking weapon for a turn. So I'll just roll a d6.
Fair enough.
It's 15 damage in total, and that's my turn.
All right. Wait, whoops. Why is that happening? Undo that. My mistake. For some reason, it's targeted. There we go. And then another 5. Perfect. All right. Yeah, as you move into range, taking a swipe, particularly using like the potency crystal especially, you stab out at this creature and kind of rip into it just a bit. Definitely leaving like a long kind of gaping wound across.
Oh, it takes even
Right
more
side.
damage. Sorry.
Yeah.
2 plus half my level on a hit, due to my personal antithesis.
Oh yeah, right.
I never played a thaumaturge before, so I'm not too like fluid with it.
Yeah, it's not adding it for some reason. But so 2 plus half your level. So that's what?
Yeah.
3 points. Additional 3. Perfect. There we go. All right. Talif?
Talifer will. So if he's up on the cart, he's going to duck behind where the driver's seat is, and he's going to take cover. So
Okay.
that's one. And then can you ready in action in Pathfinder? I can't remember.
Yeah, ready in action takes 2 to use 1. So like you have to you spend 2. Yeah.
Okay, so I will spend 2 actions then. If the creature comes within range of this nifty little hand crossbow that Talifer has in his backpack, then he'll take a shot at it. But other than that, he's taking cover in the caravan.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so there we go. Perfect set of action. Gash.
Is it feasible to flank this thing?
I would say it's pretty difficult. Based on its size, I think you could flank. It'll automatically detect if you are flanking. So, I think that's yes. I think you
Imagine
would.
this kind of movement.
Yeah, I assume this should work.
For this, I mean, I have.
Yeah. I would say that's probably your best bet at getting the flank off, right?
Yeah.
Is my assumption. Larger creatures, it's kind of weird with the detection and foundry, so they may or may not detect as well. But yeah, this is probably the best bet at getting
Okay,
the flank
that's
off.
all good. Then before movement, I would have casted guidance on my friend here.
All right.
Like this with the
Thanks.
spell effect.
Yeah.
Thus.
There you go.
Okay, so it's
double guided.
Oh, I'll delete
There
one.
we
Oh,
go.
okay.
There we go.
so it's that and a melee attack.
And
Of course.
Unfortunate. So, moving in.
Well, first one of the campaign.
Yeah.
Get that bad luck out.
Fair enough.
All good.
So you did okay. So you did cast guidance prior. And,
Yeah, just
all right,
I
perfect.
try to get to it, but it just bounces off the little armor it has.
Okay, absolutely. So. All right, it is going to. Oh, sorry. Yeah, as you kind of strike out, we'll say that actually, rather than the weapon not kind of like hitting as true as it could, we'll just say that it kind of recoils almost a bit, right? And you kind of strike out towards it, and it just, by the time the weapon kind of makes it to the creature, it's moved fast enough to kind of pull itself all the way back into the full cover before kind of exploding outwards again. So
Faster than it looks like.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what it's going to do, really quick, it is going to, yeah, it's going to spin. Oh, sorry, let me spin. Do that. There we go. We'll say at random, 1 and 2, Bedivere, 3 and 4, Gash. So it'll target Bedivere. Kind of pulls itself back. It's going to make sure it's the right one. Yeah. It's going to take a strike out towards you quickly.
Oof.
28 is a damn, is it a critical? Holy shit.
Yeah,
okay.
18 armor.
Damn, so it rolled literally exactly what it needed to fucking hit you. Alright. So if you are you able to see the saving throw required here?
I don't see any saving throws.
Okay. I need you to make me a fortitude saving throw. As the creature reaches out,
Okay.
the mandibles.
Remember you have guidance.
Yeah, yeah. The mandible. Oh, perfect. So you do succeed on that. So the creature kind of
24 due to guidance.
pulls back and then reaches outwards, and the mandibles kind of quickly snap around you, kind of digging into either side. So what is this? So 24 points.
24.
Ooh.
As a reaction, I'm casting Protect or Sacrifice.
Okay. Reduce the damage of the string by 3. Redirect this damage to
And
yourself.
it's heightened. I think it's heightened already.
Yeah, it would be heightened by 3, so it'd be 6
damage.
6 damage. Okay.
And
So
that's 6 damage to me.
Yeah, so 6 to you, and then 18 to Bedivere, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess
Can
you
I
have
like
to.
add 18 or do it manually?
Yeah, you'll have to do it manually, I think, right? Like,
Okay.
yeah. There you go. And then, yeah, actually, we could do 6, right? Do not apply. Oops. You aren't subject to any condition. Okay, perfect. And then, so that's one action. It'll spend the next 2 actions. And I'll just post it so everybody can see it, so they're aware. Undulating. It is going to essentially squeeze through, or sorry, it's narrows, but yeah, pass through spaces narrow as 5 feet without kind of squeezing. So it's gonna essentially start to move back as best it can.
I'd like to use the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me a good roll. Hey,
Oof, unfortunately.
I'll hero point that.
A hero point? Alright, perfect. Oh no, it gets worse.
That's not
Oh,
true. Oh
Jesus
man.
Christ. Damn.
I like the hero point. The hero point.
Damn. So you, yeah, in that
Brutal.
moment, you get hit by the massive attack. The creature starts to kind of like squeeze itself back, boiling in through the rubble, and kind of can move through without squeezing. So yeah, so it moves. We'll say it moves. How do we break up movement here? Narrows 5 feet. Actually, I think it would still have to squeeze here, even with undulate. I'm just gonna make it a little bit easier, because having like 5 feet of movement in this rubble doesn't really make sense, right? So instead of being able to move its full speed, we'll say it just moves like a third of its speed, right? So move 10 back and say like another 10 to just get out. So basically, for those of you up front, you can see through the rubble. You can see the creature has kind of escaped out the opposite side of the rubble, but it's basically just there in the open. So with that, we'll do Shadowrun. You have backed away from this foe, but
Yeah.
it seems they've done the same.
Yeah. Well, let me work out what my options are now.
Think about it. Good decision hiding in the car. Yeah. I'll say it'll provide a bit of cover, but there's definitely clear enough view through the rubble to see the creature on the other side, which means there'd probably be space for any type of like maybe ranged attack or anything along those lines. You'll probably have
Yeah. It's range that's the issue.
you gotta move a little bit.
Well, yeah, I moved my full movement back. I haven't got anything that's gonna be with me moving forward. I suppose I could go up to the wall and start tidying it up with prestidigitation. Message will reach. We message it.
Wanna try and talk to it? Yeah.
Oh no, this might work. This will work. Yes, we will go for this. Right, so Shadow's going to move up to. I think that's the right spot. I'm just doing a measure from there. He could move 10 feet more if he needs to. Nope, that will do it. That's one action, and he is going to give this a go. See if it has any kind of bearing whatsoever. So he's going to cast Daze.
Then duration 1 round. So you cloud target's 1 days with mental shield equal to your spellcasting. Must attempt a basic will save. If the target critically fails, it is also stunned 1. Absolutely. Okay. And yeah, all you have to do is see it, right? So it's not like a yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, let's see what it can do. So attempting to save against this will. Oh my god,
Not gonna
dude.
save anything.
That is fucking ridiculous. Jesus. Dude, this thing has been so like fucking crazy. It was a natural 1 on the initiative, natural 20 here, and fucking critical, but only by the numbers. The attack. What the fuck? So, basic. The way basic works, even if you succeed, it's still damage. So if you critically succeed, there's no damage, unfortunately, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, success is half damage, and then critical is no damage. So you attempt to. I can't even describe how or why.
It's a particularly wily centipede.
Yeah, maybe there's like a.
It's thinking of centipede things.
Yeah, I really can't describe how it beats this. Maybe what's happening is that it's like moving on the opposite side. And maybe there's a sense with Daze that the better kind of eye contact you have with the target, maybe there's a little bit a better connection with trying to get the Daze across. And this creature's kind of moving so wildly, and it's definitely like heavily injured by the attack from Bedivere that it kind of it's difficult to kind of get that across, unfortunately.
Well, boys, I think it's gone.
You call out at the end of your turn. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Bedivere. You're right there. You can see through it. That thing ain't gone just yet, but it is
Okay,
heavily injured.
I'd like to use battle medicine on myself.
Okay. Perfect. So you pull out. I think in this instance you'd have to use manipulate to pull out the healer's kit, right? So you have to pull it
Yep.
out and then 2 actions there. But yeah, go ahead.
Pull it out, use it. I don't know why the treat wounds doesn't work.
When you click it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Targeted.
No, it's because this one only sends you to it. It doesn't give you the actual script macro.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'll drop it. What you can do is if you click it, you see how it like describes it. It opens it up.
Mhm.
If you scroll down, you'll see like at the very end of it, there's a script macro. You can, if you're gonna use treat wounds, you can drag it to your bar, your toolbar. But or you can just click that, and then I think it'll work there.
I'll click it for the moment.
Yeah. So
Nice.
definitely works. Quickly kind of patch yourself up, trying to maybe like throwing gauze or some sort of fabric into the wound. The mandible is kind of left on either side of you, kind of like just stuffing that in so you don't don't continue to bleed out by any means.
And I follow it valiantly.
Follow it valiantly. Oh right, yeah, because well, let me see. Would you be able to without actually? Also, you could follow it. If it was able to kind of squeeze, it's so big, it was able to kind of squeeze its way through. Just give me a because you're basically like ducking and dodging like these kind of pillars and spikes that have kind of fallen down. So just to be safe, just give me like either like an athletics or an acrobatics check really quick
Okay.
to see if you like in like trying to stay close to it, if you do anything to knock anything around. 18, yeah, you're fine. You pass through. It takes you kind of like a second. You make sure you don't like bump your head on anything and you don't damage the stability of the structure as it kind of like is just holding itself up just a bit. So you're able to make your way.
Okay, and that's my 3 actions.
Perfect. All right. Talif. You hear Shad call out that he thinks the creature's gone. Right?
Yes. So Talifer will he'll stay in cover, and he will swap his hand crossbow over to his left hand and start making notes on just a scrappy bit of paper about what he's seeing and what the monster was, where he is, what's going on. So I don't know what action that would be.
I think that's. Are you?
I'm doing
Deferring
something.
your turn.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of foregoing your turn technically in a sense. Like you're still doing something, but you're
because the only other thing would be he just wants to keep an eye out the surroundings.
Yeah,
around.
you know what? I'll say because of where you are and because of the fact that you're off the map, I'll say you kind of have to come into map to be able to continue to see what's going on, unless you don't necessarily care.
Sorry, I mean sort of around the caravan where I am.
Sure, no, but what I'm saying is if you want to continue to see the action between like this giant creature and the Bedivere and the others, if you want to continue to be able to describe what's happening or seeing it with your own eyes, then you would have to get closer.
Okay, how far in do you want me?
I mean, I can say you could probably you don't have to get all the way into the battle. You just have to get to like here. So we'll say that to justify your turn, it'll say that you use 2 movement actions to kind of get onto screen, and then 1 is like an action to kind of, quickly jot everything down as it's all happening.
Cool.
Fair enough. Okay. Gash. Thumbs up.
Once I used guidance, that doesn't work again for 1 hour, right?
Yeah, he is
target
immunity. The target. You can use it again, just not on Bedivere.
Yeah. How stable does this look? Because I probably saw better beer.
I'll say you.
Take care.
Yeah, I'll say you feel confident
Let's
enough you could pass through it, but you do have to make a check for it. So
Huh.
it's stable, but not that stable, right? Like one bad move could potentially bring it down on you.
Okay, then. Like how big is the opening?
Enough for you to kind of squeeze through, for sure. Yeah, enough
Like,
for you
if
to
I
see the
have
creature. Yeah.
If I have a clear line of sight, then I'm going first with Divine Lens.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let me target the thing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Um,
Ouch.
13 total.
Probably misses.
Yeah, unfortunately misses. You fire through. Actually, yeah, you fire through, and the divine energy crackles and then hits against one of the boards, and it snaps it. And for a moment, it seems like there's a bit of shaking as everything kind of re-steadies itself, but ultimately the path stays open. But it's definitely much much more stable, or sorry, less stable.
Unstable.
Yeah. All right. So that was.
You know
two
what? I'm
actions.
gonna. Yeah, that was 2 actions. I'm going to risk it and just do a spear throw.
Spear throw. Okay. Yeah.
Mean that I have it. If I still have a clear line of sight, I mean, I'll think a spear.
Yeah, I'll say it's clear enough
Tumble
for
the whole
sure.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it might just add to the stability. Yeah. So.
Well. Oh, another
Yeah.
miss.
You throw it. It doesn't hit anything on the way
I
through.
missed. Wow.
Yeah, just narrowly misses. You throw it through. It just narrowly misses. Also, this would be. Because Divine Lance is an attack, right? So you get. Is that how it works?
Would be.
Yeah,
Would
it
that
would be.
Would that count?
Yeah.
Weapon
Got
and
my
spell?
attack tag at the very top,
Yeah, so if it has the attack trait, then the second like strike would be. So yeah,
Oh,
so
no,
with
five.
the penalty, yeah. So with the penalty, it's 5 less, I believe. So it would be an 11 technically.
11.
I'll say it's still, it goes through. It doesn't crash into any more of the board, so you don't add to the structural instability, thankfully. But it does ultimately miss the creature. Okay.
Going
So
to place this as dropped.
fair enough.
Just remember I don't have it.
Oh yeah. So, all right. So then it is the creature's turn. Creature is quite wounded. I mean, it's a wild animal. You've made your way through. I think it's going to. Yeah. It rears up for a moment, and it looks like it's going to strike at you with the mandibles yet again. But ultimately, it turns quickly and tries to sweep its whipping tail in your direction. Does hit. It is going to use. Sorry. It has. So this has knockdown. So 12 points of damage. Damn, that's max damage. And
no luck.
it is going to. This attempting the plies. Okay. Because the attack has knockdown, with a successful strike, it is going to attempt to trip you. Let me put that on the creature's action. Let's see. Trip. Okay. So to spend one action attempting to knock you down. So target you. let's see.
Success.
Yeah, unfortunately, it knocks you down prone. So the tail sweeps through, knocks you down, and then I think it's going to undulate and try to regain its cover and home within cover. So we have gone around, so you do have an attack of opportunity, but you would be attacking prone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
still
that's
something you
just
do.
a -2. I think it's just a -2, right?
I believe with prone, yes.
Okay, then I'll try.
Actually, let's see. You take a
Yeah, -2 circumstance penalty to attack rolls.
Yeah, there we go.
I'll try.
Yeah, fair enough.
Whip out that thing. Like, use the whip part. Why doesn't it roll? Oh, on the wrong window. My bad.
Yeah, all good.
-2. And roll for it.
Does hit
Nice.
going to roll damage?
Nice.
And this is still. Oh, you didn't use the potency crystal, but it's still. It would still have the anathema and stuff, right? The
Yeah, it's 2 damage. No, 3 damage.
3 damage. So 3 damage to whatever you roll here.
13
So
damage
13
in total.
Okay. Oh man. This. Yeah, you rake. I mean, you're basically flat on your back, but still you're somehow able to grab a hold of your weapon and kind of reach out and slice at this creature. And yeah, absolutely, you tear through it. It looks, from the wounds that you've applied to it, from the various attacks, the Divine Lance, the two strikes you've given to it directly, it looks battered and beaten up. So as it kind of takes this position, it's almost like a crab, or sorry, like a not like a crab, like a I guess like a snail or like a turtle, kind of going fully into its shell. That's like kind of what it's looking like here. It's just pulling itself in, trying to make sure that no part of it is seen. Still though, because of the size and the space and the fact that there are openings into it, you can still strike at the creature, but it does have a decent amount of cover. But yeah, it is essentially just trying to defensively hide itself away, and that'll be its action. So, God.
Okay, right. Let's have a look at what Shad's options are this time. Let's propose your way.
One second, I might have to leave and rejoin. One second. There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay, Shad is going to just take a step onto there, and we are going to try command.
Command. Okay. So you take a step and then so that's your 3 actions, right? One
Yes.
step and then okay, all right. You shout a command that's hard to ignore. You can command the creature to approach you, run away. Oh, so it has to make a DC roll. And I'll say I'm gonna give it a negative modifier because of the circumstance that it's in. I don't know if PF2E actually has.
We'll shout the command before, and he's gonna just make up a name on a spot and says, "Now then, Bruno, lie down." He wants it to go prone.
Wait, I'll say that it's almost in a sense already lying down within this thing. So do you really want it to stay in there? Because it's I mean it has quite a bit of cover.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give it the prone condition for the 2 people that are nearby to come up and smack it.
Okay, fair enough. Sure, all right. Cool. So let me. Yeah, I don't think Pathfinder has what is it, like not valor. There's a word for it. Basically like if you're still in the fight or not. But I'm gonna say that this creature is kind of so far out of it that it takes a circumstance penalty to
It's like you're thinking morale, aren't you?
Morale, there you go, thank you. Yeah, I don't know.
And it fails.
It fails, so Yeah, it will drop its. Well, I guess it's on its next turn, but I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'll just say it drops prone. It doesn't matter.
So yeah, that's Shad's actions.
I don't know. Okay. So better view. You yourself prone. You
Yeah.
now see the creature within as it shells itself up, so to speak. It kind of.
Okay, I use one action to stand up. I
Alright.
can't delete the prone part. Oh,
There.
no, it worked.
Yeah. might take
One
a sec.
action to move up, and then I try to strike it in its back.
Fair enough.
Please.
It is. Yeah, because of the fucking prone, dude. It is just enough. Good shit. Go ahead and roll damage
Nice.
there.
Damage.
Oh yeah, more than enough.
Oh,
So
and yeah, plus a 3.
yeah, plus
I should add that.
Yeah. So I think maybe a better way to kind of describe this moment is rather than it kind of like fully shelling itself up and getting away, maybe like all of it's kind of happening in the same moment. So as kind of Shad commands the like prone condition of the creature, it goes low. But what that kind of does is make the creature kind of spread out a bit more, right? Because it can't kind of weave up and around the various timber and rock that's within. So as it's, we'll say that you're able to kind of get up and approach, and a good chunk of the lower half, or the rear of this creature is still kind of making its way, kind of swarming through into the rubble. So that is more than enough to lay this creature low. So if you would like to, please describe the first kill of our campaign.
While I'm trying to lay down, I take a wide berth, use the full momentum of the whip sword thing, and try to hack it into a not totally protected part. Well, not one with the carapace, like its belly or something, and like take a deep gash, and I don't know, innards spill out.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So you, maybe even the previous wound that you kind of left along its side, maybe you like refine that with the weapon. You just, you push it through, and then as the creature's rushing away from you, it does the damage to itself, right? As it rushes forward, all you have to do is hold the blade in place as everything just kind of splits open along the seam of the creature. And yeah, the various kind of, I'll say they're like almost like lime green and this immediate kind of sharp scent kind of hits your nostrils as the innards of this creature just start to kind of spill out along this wound, and the head of this creature kind of makes it through the opposite side and kind of almost for a moment gash. You feel like the creature is actually going to reach out with its mandibles and kind of grab you by the skull, right? Bite into your face, but as it's kind of reaching out in this like almost last like death throw attack, it just does not have the energy to finish it through. The head kind of just droops down and collapses against the ground at your feet. And so, I'll say that for now, that is the first encounter of this campaign. So,
Nice.
we'll go ahead and drop out of initiative, just so everybody can do as they wish. And
I think first things first. Little heal.
fair enough. Shad, what are you looking to do? You might be muted.
Oh, sorry. Looking at that, I reckon those Flenser boys could do something quite decent with that length.
Jesus Christ, dude, the Flancers. My goodness. All right, so oh, I think you still had the creature targeted, but yeah, go ahead and
Why did it apply to
yourself.
me?
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to him.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I mean, he's brought it back to life.
Yeah. Oh shit. Dude.
Phase 2.
All right. Bedivere.
Okay, I squeeze right past the thing, and I like do the predator handshake. You know which one I mean with Cash. At least I offer it up to him.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah. Let's go. And then I try to get to the thing and try to get its compound eyes out, and like disgusting as it is, just put them into the bag.
Perfect. Yeah. Predator handshake. Very nice. All right. Dude, why can I not? I can't. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I was like, the fuck. Okay. Yeah. And you start to kind of cut out parts of the creature. Do you take one of the mandibles?
The eyes.
Oh, the eyes. Okay.
That's like an esoterica.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, you start to carve out the eyes of the creature, and yeah, we'll say that you're trained. It's something you're familiar with. Despite it being like a bit disgusting of sorts, you're able to work your way around and get them out pretty flawlessly. Shad would like a leg and a feeler. Okay. Fair enough.
Would you mind awfully, boys? Just breaking one of those off for me.
Of course.
Fair enough. Talifer.
Talifer will jump up onto this tree stump here, clapping at everyone. For some reason, I'm not moving now. Why aren't I moving?
There you go.
Thank you very much. So he'll be clapping at everyone, and he'll be making sure, like shouting out to everyone, "You've all got to make sure that you take something from that beastie over there. If you ever need a witness and a telling, I will happily represent you. I've written down everything that you did. Everyone knows who I am." And he's basically just saying to everyone, make sure that you get something from that so that we can spread your deeds. That was absolutely amazing. I saw everything. And he's waving around the paper that he was writing.
Fair enough. Yeah. To give a little bit of setting lore, in this region, there's something called the Bellimar with the Volgian people. They go on acts, right? They go on essentially
Quests,
yeah, like personal epic kind of campaigns, trying to win, trying to do like epic quests or kill epic creatures, right? To prove their worth as a warrior and such. So, what Talifer here is talking about is a telling at the Hearthmeet, which is a big event, or just simply around the fire. Normal Volgian people will kind of spread these tales, their own personal stories of their adventures in their past, and proof is very important. So, Talifer telling you, yeah.
Sorry, and with the note that I've been waving around, I push it into Bedevir's chest for him. That's got my name on it. If you ever need someone to vouch for that, and he's written down what Bedivere did on the bit of paper in verse, and he hands it over to Bedivere.
Yeah.
Okay, it goes into the bag.
Perfect.
It's
mind reciting that verse?
The ink's still wet there. Be careful. Yes, of course. It says, Sir Bedivere, I'll say it in accent. Sir Bedivere, he grabbed his sword, then he did whip it out, striking swiftly the centipede. A successful blow, no doubt. And it continues on in a similar fashion.
Fair enough. Perfect. So, I got mixed up here. So, Talifer. So then back to Shad. What's up?
Shad will look at Talifer up on the one stump and says, "Well, you've made a big impression. While you're here, would you like me to extract some urine for you to carry away? As your own little keepsake. You could take the piss like you just did."
Do I know you from somewhere?
I don't believe so, but you
sound like someone I've met before.
You have a very similar accent. Do you have family in Tor Arcane by any chance?
Tor Arcane?
No, Tor Arcane.
Tor Arcane's made up.
Oh, so you say.
So you say. Indeed. Anybody else want to do anything real quick? Say that much of the caravan is like now that the noise has potentially died down, and maybe they've heard kind of Talifer kind of speaking out openly, right? Speaking out openly. loudly enough for them to kind of take in. You see kind of the normal people of the caravan kind of like start to poke their heads out and kind of make sure that the coast is still the coast is clear, so to speak. Treat wounds while they talk. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll say that treat yourself.
I mean, actually, I can treat myself too.
Perfect. Okay.
You heard.
Also, whenever we're in like downtime moments like this, I'll probably say that unless you're really close to death, that it just auto succeeds, right? To avoid like the we gotta roll, then we can't roll, then we can roll. So if you're like, we'll say that if you're, I don't know, 25%, like you're within 25% of your max, then you're fine to just kind of heal yourself back up. But if you're that close to death, then yeah, that way. Jeez. That way we can kind of or if you choose to like really want to roll that out. But typically like during downtime and stuff like that, rather than having to make a bunch of rolls, it'll just be like auto assume that people are able to heal themselves, or that
like
one of the
if we
healers.
have a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
If we have a moment now, I like to do a refocus, but
Fair enough.
otherwise, I think Gash is more interested in again the woodline because this guy left us a little bit before and he hasn't come back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been he's only been gone a few moments, right?
Being the fight, but
yeah, even the fight is still like what, 3 rounds. It's like 20-30 seconds. So and then in the build up, so about a minute or minute and a half at this point. Talifer, you head on back. Your gear is still there. Everything is fine. Gash, you kind of refocus yourself to the tree line. Go and roll me a perception check.
hidden.
Open. I like everything open for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah. With the 28.
28.
Absolutely. You're listening in, and you start to hear sound of something large approaching. You can hear like it's not entirely clear, but it sounds like there's something big on approach, right? You can hear the padding of whatever against the ground. But as you look forward, you don't see anything clearing through just at the moment. Are you getting kind of like in a defensive posture? Or are you like readying yourself for
I think I'm
big?
raising my shield and telling the others to shut up and listen.
Shut up and listen. Yeah, you shut up and listen. So then you
quiet.
You raise your shield, ready for battle. And just as the creature reveals itself, it's actually the horse. Comes bounding out of the tree line. Same horse of the rider, the guard. And on the back is the rider themselves, but they look, I'm going to say with a 28, they don't have any additional wounds on them, right? There's not like more arrows or anything along those lines. But as the horse kind of leaps back down and kind of comes to a stop next to you, the rider atop the horse just slowly slides before collapsing off the horse, unconscious at your feet.
Does it look alive?
You take a look.
Okay, or
as he slams,
medicine?
he slams against the ground. He doesn't do anything to stop his fall, so there's no conscious effort there. But you hear what sounds like heavy snores. Like, even as he slams against the ground. Shad, what would you like to do?
Shad was going to dismount Erasmus sandwich and head over, taking some moderate interest in a body that's slumped to the ground, and he's going to do a medicine check, if that is okay.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you approach. Bedivere, what'd you like?
I just like to aid.
Right.
I just wanted to put that out.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
I was probably gonna do a check too, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Whoever wants to roll the aid, feel free.
Well, that's Shad's medicine check.
Yep.
A success on
and
8.
This
Yeah.
is the 8 check.
So, so what are we doing here? So, that
Well,
would turn that 24 to what, a 26, I believe?
Oh.
Let me see.
it seems like overkill, doesn't it?
I mean, who knows? Maybe the aim was 25.
Yeah. Well, can multiple allies aid? That's the question. I
I
don't know
think
off the
only
top.
one can.
Only
Yeah,
one?
but I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
well,
I like retreat. You
Yeah.
do you guys.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll say gashes with a 27. I'll say that is so that'll add a 2. So that'll be 26 to the medicine check, Chad, as you look over the body. I'm gonna say you see the wound clearly. The arrow is still in the arm, and I'm gonna say that as you go to check over the body, maybe you kind of quickly pull that out, and along the tip of the arrow, a lot of it has certainly kind of gotten into the system, and there's blood, right? But you can clearly tell that there was a sort of poison atop onto the you're not entirely sure exactly what type, but there was a type of poison affixed to the arrow, and they're alive, but they are unconscious. They're like snoring unconscious, like they've gotten badly knocked out or something.
Oh well, boys, it looks like he's alive. But Shad's going to sound just a little bit disappointed.
Well, I'll carry on.
Can I take one of my cantrip cards and use detect magic?
Detect magic, absolutely. You're trying to see if there's a magical effect in revolt.
Essentially, either I'm thinking, maybe the poison is magical, or someone casts a spell on the guy, and poison wasn't the thing who made it sleep. But if Shad tells us this is poisoned, who knows?
Yeah, I guess I would say, because I don't want you to necessarily burn a resource if you don't have to, but
I think if Shad is aware of that, he would pass it on.
okay, yeah. So you're aware.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So yeah, no need to burn the resource to get an unfortunate or unfortunate negative response. But it doesn't seem magical. It seems something was affixed to the arrow that was used, and it seemingly is. And so far, the effect is that he is just essentially unconscious, but alive. Both happened at the same time for me.
Go on, let Bedivere go
Bedivere,
before
go
me.
Okay. I'd like to grab the body and then do a recall knowledge check using the esoteric slot to find out what kind of plants in this area
Oh, nice.
do have that effect and whether they are rare.
Fair enough.
Esoterics -2. 25.
25. Yeah.
Oh, there should be a -2.
It 23 is still more than enough.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, you take a this is actually poison that is affixed to this. Looking at the effects, not seeing, like, even as you look at the wound, if it were a more severe poison, it would you would see like some negative effects already, like like either if it's really bad, like necrosis or something like that along the wound. But in this case, you recognize that this is most likely a lethargy poison, and it is particularly commonly used amongst the wood elves. Wood elves being most likely Theneas. You yourself are a cavern elf, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Half.
not you, right? but
Ancestors, yeah.
yeah, not your ancestors, but familiar enough, right?
So I'll tell the others. Lethargy, most likely. Elves, like the tale everybody knows. Eat your food, or the elves come and get you. Remember. Carry the body to a caravan. Lay it down somewhere.
Okay, you carry him to the back. Yeah, lay him down in the back of one of the wagons. So yeah, the news of this being an elvish poison, particularly targeting one of the warriors of the West warband. I have to figure out a shorter way of saying warrior of the
Warband of the West
Yeah.
Wind.
Yeah, a warrior of the West Wind is what I'm going to say from now on. So, Shad, what would you like to do as Bedivere is kind of carrying the body along?
Shad pulled the arrow out and noticed the poison.
Yeah.
Shad is going to look over towards Taylor and says, "You, chatty man in the green. I've got the perfect job for a man of your talents. Could you please give this a lick so we can find out what it does?"
Come on then, throw it over.
And Shad will throw the arrow at Taylor. Okay then.
You and Jess?
He's not going to throw it like a dart. He's just sort of like going to pinwheel it.
Fair enough. What the fuck? Give me a fortitude save.
Well, hang on. Haven't I got to see if I hit him first, or is this for him licking it?
Well, he's not.
No, I'm catching it. I'm not licking it. I'm catching it as he tosses it to me.
Oh, well, are you attempting to kind of? We'll say this is like stupid, like fun PvP. Are you attempting to kind of? You're trying to throw the arrow in such a way that potentially it nicks him and kind of gets him with some of the poison.
I'm not pretending that I'll be sad if that happens, Trill.
Just roll me. Actually, we'll do it this way. Talifer and Shad, just roll me straight d20s. No bonuses, no nothing.
Oh, I've got really good reflex though.
Do you? Yeah. Well,
I've got plus 11 reflex.
Fine. Sure. We'll do. Yeah. Go ahead. Do your reflex. And I'll give Shad a bonus of what would it be?
Well, Shad is going to have a terrible on this. He's got +1 dex.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I was going to give you like the throwing your bonus to strike. Yeah, it's 22. You
definitely snatch it out.
Yeah,
that's it.
We'll say you throw it, but you're not necessarily trying to keep Talifer from but Talifer's a little bit swift of hand to kind of catch it appropriately without cutting himself.
And then
Good catch, that man. A little bit disappointed.
I've done that once or twice before, And then Talifer will do a performance of licking the arrow.
Oh, are you trying to deceive, I guess?
He's doing a performance of it. He's trying to make it look like he is licking the arrow.
Can we run this up against Shad?
So like he's trying to make it look like he's licking the arrow and then maybe fainting or something. I don't know.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not out of an attempt to like truly deceive. You're just kind of like playing along, so to speak.
Yes, yeah. I'm messing around.
Yeah. Just go ahead and we'll see how good your acting skills are.
What am I doing?
Yeah. Rather.
Well, could we run this up against Shad's lie to me?
Well, he's not trying to deceive. He's playing, right? He's not going to actually.
What I would like to do though is my fascinating performance.
Okay.
Putting a lot into this.
Can I compare my result to the will DC of one performer, please? One observer, please, and I would like that observer to be Shad.
Okay, fair enough. This is so when you perform.
So I've got to roll a will DC.
No, it's the will DC, so it's just 10 plus your will, so it's 17. So he is absolutely fascinated by you for
my
one round.
performance.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I can't believe you actually did that. Wow, what a stoic individual you are. You truly amaze me, young man.
I will be counting on you when I'm at my next telling. I want everyone here to say how successful I was at doing that.
I will exhort to the world what a fantastic individual you are in
Just
every opportunity.
completely shook off the poison. It tasted, it's a bit bitter, but nothing I couldn't handle. It's fine.
Yes, it's like my mother-in-law.
Jesus Christ.
Would
Well,
Talifer recognize the arrow as being elvish?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Then I'll just study it for a little bit.
Fair enough. Yeah. Within a few moments, I mean, this looks like every arrow you may have seen in your past or at one point from the various archers and sorts of the Thenean military or people, scouts, such like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, while all that is happening, Jesus.
Come on, you two, get in there.
Yeah. Bedivere is affixing the next talisman. Fair enough. So yeah. So we'll say like a few moments pass. You drop the Warrior of the West, the Warrior of the West Wind, into the cart, dropping him like low, right, allowing him to lay down, So while he's unconscious, other members of the caravan, the drivers particularly, have kind of like started to approach and kind of ask, it's like, what do you all think we should do then? That way is our path forward, kind of motioning towards the rubble and all of this. And I think that's the only way we can really get around. Do we just have to manual labor and clear it by hand? Or do any of you have an idea?
Rules clarification. Shad has prestidigitation and it does have tide. It says colour clean or soil an object of light bulk or less. You can affect an object of one bulk with 10 rounds of concentration and a larger object a minute per bulk. Could Shad start using prestidigitation, start clearing some of the rubble?
Yeah, a minute per bulk. So
that's a larger object, a minute per bulk. Yes.
Okay. I'm
not saying he can do it on his own, but he can make a start.
Yeah, I'd say larger objects. It's kind of like this is like Harry Potter shit, right? You approach and you start to kind of like try to fix certain things in whichever way they should go.
I'd like to think of it as Shad going up and making a big play of it, and you're doing the whole easy wizzy, let's get busy, moving his hands around, and it being entirely unimpressive to people that are watching.
A tiny pebble just floats back up into the wall.
I've got an idea, boys. I will use my latent talent and the immense power of nature and the world as a whole, stepped from the veil, and then just see dust motes just gradually drifting off it.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. You get to work on it. Talifer, and then Bedivere.
I don't want to like Deus Ex Machina on my bag of holding or anything because I don't have one. But I would imagine Talifer would be aware of sort of roughly where we are. Would he have any maps of the area on him? Would he possibly know maybe a way around this overground?
Yeah, I'd say considering your backstory, yeah.
My job.
Yeah, your job. There is, if you double back, there is an older path, but it's unkept. It potentially, I mean, now that you know that there are people potentially in the woods themselves, there is a way around, but it will require the caravan to travel directly through the woods on at this point, probably an overgrown path. With whatever is in the forest.
Is the path called something ominous like the path of no return or something?
No, it's just
okay.
It's an old, maybe it was like an old footpath prior to the official pathway, which is this
I will.
checkpoint.
I'll share that knowledge with the group then, apart from Shad, because he seems busy doing his important thing over there. So I'll
Fair
speak
enough.
to everyone else apart from Shad.
Absolutely. And
I'm
then,
really making headway here, boys.
yeah, fair enough.
Very impressive. I'm writing it down.
Bedivere.
While he's like magically lifting a small stone, I just walk up, take one medium size, and throw it a few feet away, and say, "Well, impressive and all, but I think that could be going faster." How many people are part of that caravan, by the way?
Yeah, there's enough that you could.
Is
Yeah, as a group, you could definitely start getting some headway and just kind of doing the manual labor portion of it, just like clearing it out as best as you can. But it would require like you. I guess at this point, you're basically making a decision between waiting the time it takes here to clear this out and potentially, whatever happens here may happen. Using the caravanners like to kind of manual labor it, or I guess now with the suggestion from Talifer potentially taking an old, kind of dirt path around, but it comes with potentially more danger involved. But that would be faster. It would be slower to stay here, but most likely safer. It would be faster, but more dangerous to take the opposite. But Chad.
A question on the map. There are some bodies there. There is a skeleton. Are those actually represented in this situation?
No. The map is just.
Well, that's just a shame, isn't it? Okay, fine.
I'll say that if you were to spend some time like looking around the top portion of it, you might find like.
I'll
like
be honest,
blood, but not bodies.
I don't believe that Shad is going to be able to do this surreptitiously in this circumstance.
Yeah, fair enough. So, all right. So, what would you like to do? Would you like to get the caravan involved and clear out this path officially? I mean, that could be a big act, considering where you're headed. Potentially, certainly appreciated, or you could just make your way around and get where you need to go faster.
I just have to say, I sort of need to be in Lynrid. It's fairly pressing, urgent. It might be a bit quicker if we go over land instead of doing manual labor, which I'm not a fan of.
As opposed to taking the carts over water.
What?
You want to go over land as opposed to taking the carts over water. You seem to know your way around. You know what? You're such an impressive fellow. That thing you did with the arrow, I would follow you to the end of the Ekros, to the very boundary of the Vale itself. I will go the way you want to go.
We'll
Sounds like a tale worth telling. Anyone else? Or are we dead set and lifting stuff?
I'm great at lifting stuff, and I think those people could help. Sometimes the most obvious way is the right one.
I've never found that to be true ever. But okay, top hat fella. What about your big horse? Is he not big and strong? Could he not lift some rocks or something? I'm not saying that your magic's not working or anything, but the horse might work better.
Well, Erasmus here is a very talented horse, but he lacks hands.
Can he not pull things?
He's known to pull the odd fast one.
Could he pull a brick or two out of that wall?
Well, perhaps if you put it on a cart.
Could we do that? DM, could we do that?
Yeah. I would certainly allow.
Seems easy enough.
What's the name of the damn? What's the name of the horse again? Sorry.
Erasmus Sandwich.
Erasmus. We'll say that Erasmus Sandwich can certainly aid in clearing out the rubble, and it'll it'll probably cut down the time by like a good 30 minutes overall.
Erasmus, if you aid us in this, I will give you a pinch of the good stuff for your pipe.
Yeah, the horse gives you like a a knowing nod. Sure. Yeah. Fair enough. So,
Because no one will believe this scene of like a whole caravan and a horse smoking a pipe, pulling stones away from the
yeah,
like crumb down tower. And Talifer's just going to do like a quick sketch on one of his bits of paper.
a quick sketch, absolutely
Yep.
perfect. Jesus Christ. Okay.
You sound exhausted. True, you sound exhausted.
It's been a long day, you know. So so getting to work. Yeah, the people of the caravan, and I guess at this point it's probably actually sorry. It's gonna take, we'll say, with the help of Erasmus Sandwich, let's say that it'll take you about 3.5 hours to kind of clear this efficiently enough for wagons to kind of make their way through without the scare of a total collapse atop them. So we'll say it takes about 3.5 hours. So let me make a couple checks really quick. We'll do these in private. Okay. So does anybody keep watch? Maybe particularly like keeping guard because you've been attacked essentially. That's kind of happened. Or is everybody who's not participating in the clearing of the rubble?
Talifer is not participating. He
Fair
does
enough,
manual labour.
I think Shad is very much in there. One, to be alongside Erasmus, and he's still doing his prestidigitation thing to very little effect.
Fair enough. Okay. And then Gash and Bedivere?
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
much. I think.
Carrying those fucking stones.
Fair enough. Okay. So tires you out a little bit. It's definitely a workout. A lot of these stones are quite large. Not everyone is just quick to pick up. But yeah, after a good chunk of hours where everybody's kind of giving in, putting their labor to good effect. Talifer, you kind of being one of the very few, maybe children are the only ones that are not helping. So Talifer and some kids, being the only ones to not get in there and provide some help with this.
Yeah. I'll be telling a little silly story about Tor Arcane to the kids whilst I'm doodling and keeping an eye out.
Fair enough. So go to roll. No, never mind. No need to roll a perception check as nothing happens for you all. So yeah, the next 3.5 hours go by. You're able to clear out the path, maybe even like reinforce it so that it stays open. The old gate that would have been here turned sideways and kind of used as a sort of almost like a beam of sorts to kind of keep some of the weight atop. So yeah, the next 3.5 hours go by, no problem. You just tires you out with physical labor work, but other than that, you're fine. Shad, what's up?
Shad, after 3 or so hours of very ineffective work using prestidigitation, is going to walk over to Erasmus Sandwich and unhook the shovel from his from the side of his saddle and just use it as a leaning post while he gets his breath after his exertion.
Okay, fair enough. And so, yeah, 3.5 hours, take a bit of a breather, and you're all able to take kind of breaks here and there to keep up your, in case you were to be set upon by anybody. But no attack comes, and after some time, the way is cleared, and you're able to continue forward as a caravan, jumping back maybe into the carts that you were previously. I'm going to say almost just as this whole thing kind of settles itself, the warrior of the West Wind kind of stirs, starts to kind of groggily wake up from where they are, kind of shaking their head off, kind of looking around just as everybody's just as everybody's basically jumping back into the wagons and getting the caravan going. Talifer.
I would assume I'm assuming a couple of things. Number one, that he was in the cart that I was in.
Yeah, he was laid out on the ground there.
And as I was still on the cart or around that area, would I be the first person to see him sort of waking up?
Yeah, sure.
Is that a
You
fair
weren't doing
assumption?
it. Yeah, you weren't doing any work. So
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
I'll hop back up onto the cart, and my normal sort of jovial persona just isn't there anymore at all.
Okay.
Are you right?
He's kind of shaking his head.
I'll hand him a pouch of water or something. I want to try and keep my voice down a little bit so I'm not attracting attention.
Fair enough. Yeah, he. We'll say that this is still like in the we'll say like last few minutes of finishing off like the final touches. So you're able to get a moment alone with the. So he kind of takes a long kind of sip of the water skin that you kind of pass him over. What happened? I mean, I know that I was hit by. He kind of reaches to the wound, an arrow, but things kind of went sideways for me. I chased after, and then
Did you catch up with him?
He kind of thinks for a moment. I think at one point I figured I was being lured into a trap with the way I was feeling, so I turned around.
Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky your horse knew the way back.
Yeah. What?
Do you know it was an elvish arrow that hit you?
Kind of goes quiet. This is like a real contemplating.
And
moment.
as I'm saying this to him, I tap the brooch on my collarbone.
Mm-hmm. Right. It takes him a moment. Like he taps it and he's kind of like confused by that action, but then he kind of comes around to it. Right. Remember the court.
Your boss has summoned me to Lynrid. Is there anything going on that I should know?
Kind of thinks for a moment. I guess there is now.
Well, we better get there quick and let him know then.
Yeah.
If Arabs are roaming this far into Vogh Moldir, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, and he kind of takes a look at the crumbling kind of checkpoint. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Seeing all the like nature having kind of reclaimed. As a member of the court, I'm sure you are aware of the whatever they call them. He's trying to think of the word, like the sentinels of Theneas, right?
The Knights of Theneas, yeah.
Yeah, Knights of Theneas, right? He's trying to like find the word, but he settles on like a Knight of Theneas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard stories. You think something like that could have been done by one of them?
Can I make a society check because I think Ram knows the answer, but I don't know if Talifer would know the answer.
Fair enough.
Oof.
I'm gonna say. I'll say go with
I reckon he's read loads of bollocks about it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know what's true and what's not.
Yeah, you know a ton. So I'm gonna say you.
I don't know. It's
there's
so many stories.
Yeah.
There's so many stories. I have absolutely no idea what's right and what's wrong about those guys. Those big boys. Some of this tale is even said that they ride horses the size of that one, and I gesticulate over to Erasmus.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what's true and what's not.
Right.
And then very like loudly, as if he wants other people to hear him. And don't you go sleeping on the job again. I'll let your boss know the next time I see him. And he's back to his sort of performative persona.
Fair enough. So, the rest of you finish up at the checkpoint. Everything's cleared. You all rejoin each other back onto the wagons and caravan itself, and you essentially saddle back up. All of you. Well, I'm assuming Bedivere, Gash, and Talifer are still in the same wagon, of course, but Shad, do you stick by the others as you jump back onto Erasmus and start the journey forward?
Yes. I mean, first off, Shad, he's a tall guy, but it's not easy getting back on top of Erasmus. He's a big animal. But yes, Shad will stick alongside Taylor because with the performance earlier, and
All right,
Shad's not
fascinating.
usually a genuine guy, but he's sticking by him for now.
Can we just clarify going forward? It is Talifer.
Taylor.
Yeah, fair enough. Taylor.
I'm very impressed with you, Taylor.
Thank you, random stranger that I've only met once before.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would say, have you even introduced each other? Would you even know Taylor?
I was just throwing that out there just to wind Michael.
Yeah. We'll assume that you don't actually know each other's names, but as you all kind of hop into the cart, the wagon, and the path continues forward.
Taylor announced himself though when he was going through his spiel.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. You got it.
And presumably everyone here has heard of him. So
yeah, nobody knows who Shad is.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's Shadtastic, dude.
That's it.
There you go. All right. So you all jump back into the wagon. I'm going to say, Bedivere, if you could give me a straight D20 check here. No particular bonus going on it. But yeah.
3.
Yeah, 3 total. There's a lingering thought in the back of your mind. Something about this seems a bit strange to you, but you can't quite place it. It may come to you at a future date, but as of now, there's just for you to know, there's this something feels off about this scenario as you start to kind of push your way forward, but you're not entirely sure what it is. And so, as you hop back into the wagon and continue off, maybe you're left with this just lingering suspicion without a way to kind of put that into words just yet. You might have to sit with it for some time. And gosh, this having been kind of your considering your backstory, right? You're one of the orcs of Uruk. I guess I'm going to ask you, I'm going to kind of put you on the spot here. Do you think that Gash would have been here with the first wave, the first like arriver of this area, or would he have been kind of like maybe in like an extremely recent
Very recent.
Okay, so you've heard tell, right, of some of the things that the orcs of Uruk have kind of run into and faced. And while a creature like this giant centipede isn't necessarily along that line, you have been told by some of the orcs within Uruk, right, those who were here first, the first kind of settlers, that they ran into something powerful within the Dudas Mountain, that they laid low, sort of necromancer of sorts, who was controlling these undead figures, these undead, for you it would be like hobgoblin creatures. And so while seeing a creature like this giant centipede in this space, I guess for a moment maybe it occurs to you like, initially when you hear tales of like these, you typically tend to kind of put like a bit of bolstering to the flame. But having run into something like this, just, happenstance along the road and whatever it was that destroyed this checkpoint, you are left with this like sense that almost like asking yourself, where did I land? Like, you know, in the sense of like, where the fuck am I, you know, with all of this craziness going on around me. And so with these thoughts kind of present, either in the back of your mind for Bedivere, but in the forefront potentially for Gash, as you all make your way, continuing forward, heading through the checkpoint. It is the still of the evening. It is cold. This all happened at night. I should just remind you. So, and continuing to press forward, because this is no place to camp and no place to make rest. So you press onwards, knowing that you should be where you need to be, and before the rest of the evening passes you by. I think this is probably a great spot to pause the story, and we'll pick up making our way into Lynrid Road at the start of our next session. So,
Great.
Thank you all for playing. Appreciate you all as players. Definitely a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and sign out on the stream and stuff, but I'll check back in just a moment if you want to stick around. If not, if you got somewhere to be or somewhere to go, whatever it is, feel free to do as you wish.
Thanks for running.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cheers,
Thanks,
Trill.
Rob.
That was a blast.
Nice. All right. Give me a few moments and I'll.
Yeah, thanks very much, Trill. Cheers.
All right. So first session done of our Monday campaign, which yeah, it was a bit of rust to shake off, a bit, you know, it's been a while since I ran, so there's and I'm a little bit low energy, a little bit not sick, but not feeling 100%. So sorry if there was any down moments from me. I've just trying to make sure we get through this all. But thank you all for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had if you'd like to get involved, the best place to be is in our Discord, because that is the first place I reach out whenever I'm reaching out for potentially new players to join us in the campaign. But yeah, to get back into DM mode, exactly, kind of getting back into the swing of things, but yeah, if you'd like to get involved, the best place to be is in the Discord. If not, it is what it is. So our next stream will be on Wednesday. I'm going to, I haven't, but it seems like people actually wanted to get involved. We'll see. To lick the arrow as a suggestion for new slang. Fuck off. But in any case, thank you all. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back on Wednesday. I'll drop the world building prompt for the Callisto game and Ilgrad and stuff like that. We can expand on some of that stuff because I might need some of that information for our orc player in this Monday campaign. In any case, thank you all. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back on Wednesday to kind of hang out, do some bullshitting and stuff like that. And see you when we see you. If not, then yeah, we'll see you whenever we see you. So have a good one. Appreciate you. Peace.